Let me paint you a little picture. And no, it's not a pretty one. You get dumped, not gently, not respectfully. You get brutally dumped. Your heart feels shattered. Your confidence disappears. And for a long time, life feels like it's moving forward without you. Weeks turn into months. You replay conversations in your head. You wonder what you did wrong. You grieve, not just the person, but the future you imagine with them. And then one day, something shifts. You wake up feeling lighter. You start laughing again. You begin to feel like yourself. You finally start moving on. And that's when it happens. Out of nowhere, your phone lights up. It's them, your ex. If your heart suddenly starts racing or your mind begins to spiral, pause for a second. That reaction is completely normal. According to clinical psychologist Dr. Beth Kurland, when an ex reaches out after a long time, it can reactivate the same neural pathways in the brain that were triggered during the breakup itself. In simple terms, your brain remembers the emotional pain and the pleasure at the same time. That's why one simple message can pull you right back into feelings you thought were long gone. You're not weak, you're human. We crave familiarity. We crave emotional safety. And when someone who once mattered suddenly reappears, the brain gets confused. But here's the important question. Why are they really reaching out? Sometimes an ex contacts you with no clear reason, no apology, no intention, no direction, just a random, "Hey, how have you been?" Dating expert Bella Gandhi calls this breadcrumbing. Breadcrumbing is when someone drops small bits of attention just to see if you're still emotionally available, without any real intention of doing anything meaningful. And the experiences people share online prove just how common this is. One woman shared that an ex from 4 years ago suddenly reached out, complaining about dating, bragging about his life, and calling himself a lone wolf. She laughed about it with her fiancé and eventually stopped replying. Her life had moved forward, his hadn't. Another woman described her first love, a man who broke her heart repeatedly over 4 years. Years later, after his engagement failed, he reached out just to check on her. No apology, no accountability. She shut it down immediately because she knew something important. Growth means protecting your peace. Some exes don't stop unless you force distance. One woman said her cheating college ex kept messaging her on and off for 5 years. She stayed polite at first, but eventually deleted him from social media completely. The messages stopped instantly. Another shared something even creepier. Her ex, who had a long-term girlfriend, watched every single one of her Instagram stories without following her. Years after the breakup, that wasn't connection, that was curiosity mixed with ego. And sometimes the timing is shockingly inappropriate. One woman received a long, emotional message from her ex during her grandmother's funeral. He had cheated, moved on quickly, and still felt entitled to her emotional energy. She responded politely but coldly, and he finally got the message. But not every ex reaches out for selfish reasons. Sometimes they want to apologize. One woman shared that her ex contacted her years later after taking a university course on gender equality. He realized how badly he had treated her and reached out simply to say sorry. No expectations, no continued contact, just accountability. Another woman received a sincere apology a year after her breakup. He asked to be friends. She said no, and that was the end of it. Still, she said the apology helped her heal. And then, there are the rare cases where things take an unexpected turn. A woman shared that her high school boyfriend reached out 4 years after they broke up. They met for drinks, then again. And a year later, they were back together, older, wiser, and finally on the same page. But for every hopeful story, there's a cautionary one. One woman reconnected with an ex, enjoyed a nice conversation, until he started commenting on her body and sent an unsolicited photo. She blocked him instantly, and some people managed to stay in touch peacefully. One woman described an amicable breakup. Years later, they still email occasionally. No flirting, no regret, just mutual respect. Another admitted she once reached out to an ex to apologize for past behavior and got blocked immediately. She accepted it as deserved. So what's the lesson in all of this? When an ex comes back years later, it doesn't automatically mean they've changed. It doesn't mean they want you back, and it definitely doesn't mean you owe them access to your life. Every situation is different. Sometimes it's guilt, sometimes it's loneliness, sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's ego, and occasionally it's genuine growth. The most important